Alright, let's get this over with because I got a lot to do. Full disclosure, I just don't feel like making a video this week. But doing this each week is a major part of my plan. Well, I don't know if plan is the right word. Maybe process? My strategy? Framework? System? I'll think about it. I'll let you know if I come up with the right word for whatever this is that I'm doing. Anyway, this weekly video was and is always about one thing, and that's keeping myself accountable. So let's do this. Whether I want to or not. I'm going to talk Timekeeper again. So back in season 1, episodes 3 and 6, I touched on this. Now, in case you're one of the 8 billion people who didn't see either of those 2 episodes, quick recap. Timekeeper is some software that I wrote. I've been using it forever. It's to track time. I know that there's existing software that tracks time, and I think I've looked at all of it, and none of it works for me. Now, I was hoping to write a whole new version of it last summer to really kick off this phase of my life. The old version only ran on Windows. I'm not going to rehash all the things that I didn't like about it and that I wanted to either redo or improve upon on a new version, but that was just too overwhelming, so I set it aside. My next plan was to actually use someone else's software as a front end, but then create a data pipeline to take the data from their app and put it into my own Timekeeper database so that I could continue to report on it the way I've always done. Technically that worked, but in practice, it was tedious. It was error prone. I didn't like the front end. It got worse and worse the more I tried to use it, and so I stopped using it. Routine. Was that the word I was looking for? My routine? No, that's close. But then in early January, I made the monumental decision to just keep doing what I've been doing since 2019 or so. And that is to run my Windows-only software on my Mac using CodeWeaver's Crossover, which is a commercial version of Wine, which is basically a library that will, doesn't matter. Regimen, I think that's the word I was looking for earlier. I'm going to go with regimen. Successful time tracking means conquering 2 challenges. 1, finding the right software, which I've done. And 2, the data. Anybody can just start and stop a timer and write down what you did. But without categorizing the data correctly, the reporting just becomes either a nightmare or just not possible at all. You want to be able to envision what a report might look like in the future. How do I want to track this? How do I want to categorize my time? How do I want to know if I'm spending my time wisely? And without proper categorization, that's just not possible. Can't you just throw some AI at it and let it figure it out? Yeah, okay, yes. I could probably just throw some AI at it at some point. I don't want to do that. Let's just leave that alone. So Timekeeper is really good at letting me look at my data in a lot of different ways because it supports multi-dimensional time tracking. And that's probably the biggest thing that other commercial tools lack. And by multiple dimensions, what I mean is that every row that I log in the software, which I call a journal entry, can have up to 4 dimensions associated with it. The first one is a project, second one is activity, third one is location, and the fourth one is called a category. So a project is a noun. That is a deliverable. That's a thing that you work on. It has a beginning and an end. It could be I'm writing this novel. It could be I'm composing this song, or I'm doing this horrible project in the backyard that I wished I'd never started. That's a project. An activity is a verb, and that lets you track what it is you were doing. So if I'm working on a video like this, there's an activity of planning, writing a script, recording, editing, publishing, all that. And then the location is self-explanatory. It's geographic. Did I do it here? Did I do it at another location? You know, it's nice to see where you were. And then the last one is a category. Now, this used to be sort of something that I didn't use all that much. I kind of knew that there... So the good news, at least I've got it all figured out starting with 2026. I've got a pile of almost unusable data for the second half of last year. And I don't know, maybe I will also throw some AI at that someday and sort it out. But better late than never. You know, at least I'm on the right track now. It helps me. So let's just wrap up this week's video with a list of stuff that I actually did this week that didn't have anything to do with the actual tracking of the time of the stuff that I did. I think that makes sense. All right. Catch you next week.